So I had the fifth word of Jesus' last words, and it starts in John 19, verses 28 through 30. Jesus knew that his mission was now finished, and to fulfill the scripture, he said, "I am thirsty." So when I read this scripture, I immediately thought of a certain time and a certain story I'm going to tell you guys. So when it first came, it was about 2 summers ago. I was at my home doing nothing in summer, and then my friend named Zach, I think he's right there, yeah, best friend, man. And he was like, "Hey, you want to do a 8.5-mile hike?" And for most people, it's like, you're crazy, right, or not? But I was like, sure. We're definitely bringing our bikes though. So, so we went to the Little Big Econ Forest, which is it's right around here, and we got to a mile and a half through it, and we realized that this beautiful paved trails were they just ran out, and we just had to do this up terrain. We had to go these downhills, and we just decided as a team that we're not going to use our bikes anymore, and we're going to hike the rest. So, as a good planner, as I always am, I packed 2 water bottles for the entire trip, and I've already drank 1 by that time. So that's that was not always the best. So then for the next 2 miles, I drank my other water bottle, and then I had none with about like 4 miles left to go. And so I just, the thirst, man, it just got to me. It really did, because I started looking at other places. There was this river we were hiking by, and I was just like, nice, good river. And then I started to, I don't know if you know this, but I started like drinking sips from your water bottle, and I was like, oh, sorry, but not sorry. So then this is when I realized I was going to be very thirsty for a long time. So we were about 7 miles in, about 8.5. We were about to get mile left. I was just thinking, like, man, I can't wait to get this nice ice cold Gatorade or something. And so this is like a backstory that we had. So when I first came to his house, he was like, yeah, so 3 days ago there was like this smoke by my house. It was cool, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, and then I totally forgot about it, didn't think about it again. So, and once we hit that 7-mile mark, I started seeing smoke too. I'm like, this seems interesting. It's like a campfire, roasted marshmallows. I don't know. People do interesting things, and then we started seeing like little embers of like burnt wood, and like how do we get a little bit more? When I was smoke, I was like, all right, we got this. Like it's fine, it's just smoke. And then once I saw the embers, I was like, okay. And then I started seeing like these little baby flames, and they were like little, but I was like, oh gosh, what have we gotten ourselves into? And then this is when I had my, oh wow, we had to hike a lot more. So we went to this open field, and it was a complete brush fire that we saw. And we're like, there's either 1 or 2 options: go through the fire or walk all the way back. So we walked all the way back, so surprisingly. And then we started coming back. You know how you have like that yucky taste in your mouth when you haven't like drinking water in a while? Started getting that. Like me and Zach's conversations, we used to talk about like sports. We would talk about school, what we're gonna do for college, stuff like that. Those conversations turned to like, man, I can't wait to go in your pool and jump in or something. Can't wait to drink nice water bottles when we get home. And so we finally got back, and we got back safely. So thank God, I guess. And so whenever I was going through at least my walk of faith, I learned that Jesus comes in as like a human form, and he struggled almost in every way that we have been before. And being thirsty is just one of these examples. And being thirsty is also not only just in liquid. It can also come from thirst for happiness, thirst for wealth, thirst for power, thirst for belonging. And those are like one of the most powerful thoughts that someone can go through their mind. I mean, in Scripture, when Jesus was being crucified, all he could say, when he was putting all the sin of the world onto his shoulders, he said, I thirst. And that's like what he thought of in that moment, right before he was crucified. And I call these wells, because when you get thirsty, you can go for a well. And I use these figuratively, so you can use like relationships. You can also use friends, families, like places where you can get that type of thing that you're thirsting for. And even like wine, which was mentioned in the scripture. So, in many of our thoughts, we thirst for happiness, and that's one of the most important things when we thirst for God, because that's what God really wants for us. I've also experienced it firsthand that when you thirst for God, when you set your mind and whole body self to God, like unexpected and beautiful things can happen that I never thought was even possible. And it's true that His love for us is unconditional, and what He wants is us to pursue Him. And God gives us a choice, though. He doesn't just tell us to just go and pursue Him. He makes us do it. And there's other like worldly things where you can have it, where you can have worldly wells, and but the one well that never runs dry, even in like a desert or a time of struggle in which other wells might dry up and there might not work, is Jesus. And in Scripture, the people gave Jesus sour wine whenever He did it, when He was getting crucified, and that's what the world has given to Him. But when we went to John 2, when Jesus first did His first miracle, which is turning water into the wine. And when He didn't just turn the water into like a wine that's just regular, He turned it into the wine that was the best that the wedding has ever seen. So what I want to take to you is know that not only that if you take from the well of Jesus, that you get something in return, but you get what's best and what the world can ever possibly give, He can give to you in the never run dry. Let's pray. Hey God, I just thank You that we can always look up to You, and we can always come from a well, and we can always just go to You whenever we need to. And I just pray that for the rest of the speakers, You can speak through You, let You speak through them, and just make them become a vessel of You. In Your name we pray. Amen.